I promise once you try this Alfredo sauce, you'll never miss the dairy. And the next part, it's ridiculously easy. Let's get into it. You think you need dairy for rich, insanely creamy Alfredo sauce? Think again. This vegan Alfredo sauce is so rich, so cheesy, and so good. It might just be your new favorite comfort food. And I'm not stopping at Alfredo sauce. I'm gonna be putting it in some pasta, and I'm also gonna use it on a mind-blowing pizza. The very first thing I'm doing in this video is making the Alfredo sauce. The Alfredo sauce is gonna be super simple to make. Really, it's just gonna be doing some prep work on some ingredients and then blending them together to make it nice and creamy.
Cut the onion in half. Nothing too specific, just getting it cut. I'm gonna measure out some vegetable stock. About 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. About half a teaspoon of white pepper is what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna mince up some garlic. Just cut the ends off the garlic. Peel the skin. I'm gonna cut the garlic in half. I'm gonna cut it the long way. And give it a quick cut. I boiled the raw cashews for about 10 minutes to make them softer, and I let them sit in the water for about 4 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this lemon in half. And I'm gonna squeeze the fresh lemon right over a colander so that way I don't have to deal with the seeds. Get nothing but just fresh lemon juice. Go ahead and do that for 1 whole lemon. You can do more or less lemon depending upon your desire. Some nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is going to give it kind of a little bit of a cheesy flavor. All right, so now for the cooking, I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the seasoned cast iron. I'm going to add in the onion, and I'm going to add in the vegetable sauce. Basically, I'm going to let this cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Let it cook down a little bit. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add in the garlic. And I'm periodically going to mix this, but I'm going to let this cook off until it reduces down quite a bit. So that way there's basically no liquid left. All right, so the liquid is almost cooked out of this completely. It's reduced down quite a bit, as you can see. What I'll be doing next is blending this with all of the other ingredients. Now I'll add the cashews, the salt and pepper, the nutritional yeast, and the lemon juice. And that takes care of our creamy Alfredo sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a chicken Alfredo. And so this process is going to be super simple because we already have the Alfredo made. So it's just going to be a matter of heating up some vegan chicken, heating up some pasta, and voila, you know, it's going to be done. It's going to be that simple. And then I'm going to add in some salt. I'm going to cover it and let it get nice and hot. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and add in the pasta. And I'm going to let that cook for probably 10 minutes. I'm adding some oil to my cast iron skillet. All right, the skillet's looking nice and hot. So now I'm going to add on the chicken. All right, so let's check out the chicken. We got some browning. So I'm gonna flip over all the chicken. And now this is where I'll go ahead and season. All right, Alright, so our chicken, let's check out the other side. We got some browning, perfect. Let's add the Alfredo to the pasta. I'm really mixing this well because I want to make sure that there's Alfredo everywhere. That's the only way to do it. Try and get some of that Alfredo sauce inside the noodles as well.
Alright, so this pasta is done. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to making the roasted garlic and chive Alfredo pizza.
To make sure that the dough doesn't stick, I'm going to put the oil everywhere. Now I am using dough that's pre-made. But one call out is I'm going to make this pretty oily rather than using flour. Okay, and so I'm going to make the dough like so. Add on some of the Alfredo. I'm going to add on some vegan mozzarella cheese. So now this time when it comes to the garlic, because I'm going to be putting it on a pizza, I'm just going to cut it into slivers. And I want them to stay fairly large. About like that. Alright, so now I also have some chives that I need to cut up for the pizza. Let's go ahead and add our garlic. And the chive. Perfect, and now that's gonna go in the oven for about 10 minutes. Alright, so we have our pizza done. The main reason why I cooked it the way I did on a cast iron with the oil was because of how easily it came right off. And so I'm just gonna cut it up.
Trying out both of these dishes. So I think the first call out is that it tastes a little bit different than, you know, if you go to a restaurant or if you just go to the grocery store and buy a pre-made Alfredo sauce, because you get a bit of that dairy flavor, whereas in this you get a little bit less of a dairy flavor because I'm using vegetable stock to hydrate into this recipe. Now the hydration portion is not too much because of course I cooked down the vegetable stock, but that does alter the flavor a little bit. So it's definitely a great white sauce. So if you're concerned with this tasting 100% like your Alfredo sauce, then maybe change your thought process to this recipe to having a great white sauce. But it works well in the pasta. It goes very well with it. It goes well with the chicken. It's rich and it's creamy and absolutely delicious. So I definitely like it in that version. I would add a little bit more lemon and a little bit more salt next time, because I think that's gonna help just really kind of immerse the flavors a little bit better. And now moving into the pizza, this is where honestly it was fantastic. I would have the pizza again without changing anything. The sauce is absolutely fantastic on the pizza. The crust was fantastic. The roasted garlic really came through nicely. It's absolutely delicious. I wish I had more to eat because, you know, I had 2 slices and I found myself wanting more. But absolutely fantastic. So rich, creamy Alfredo sauce, rich, creamy white sauce to add with your food. It's not a whole lot more to say. It's absolutely fantastic. Make sure that you check it out yourself, and let me know whether you tried it on pasta, whether you tried it on pizza, whether you tried it on both. And if you tried it on both, which one did you like most? Curious to know your thoughts. I'm your friend with food benefits, and I will see you again real soon.